apology today, being May 25th, 2026, for the role the Holy See, the Vatican, play in legitimizing slavery for centuries. In case you are not aware, slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade is a trade between Africans and the Europeans across the Atlantic Ocean through West Indies. A lot of religious bodies were actually aware and involved, and they said nothing. So it was a case of bringing Christianity on one hand and trying to take our economy on the other hand. There are books about written by a lot of Africans, like how Europe decolonized Africa, how Europe robbed Africa, and all of that. And this slavery was going on. A lot of people were lost their lives, but the church didn't keep quiet. That is why sometimes some people get overwhelmed with religion, and they feel, what religion are we talking about, when they were there. Oh, and they robbed us not just of our economy, they robbed us of humanity and even sensitivity. Do you get? So he came out to say he is sorry for all that has taken place, right? For failing to condemn it for centuries. It was William Wilberforce and some other activists that had to start mounting pressure on the Atlantic Ocean to carry back slaves back to Africa. And that was why they were dropping them in Sierra Leone at a place called Freetown, where you see a lot of tribes and other people, but a lot of persons were sardined into the Western world, where they were shipped to America and the New World, which was a new word for the Europeans then, and they were meant to work in sugarcane and plantations and other places. And when they buy you as a slave, they tattooed the name of the owner on your body so that you don't run. And during the transatlantic slave trade, the journey from Africa to Europe, if you show sign of weakling, you'll be thrown into the sea. If you show sign of sickness, you'll be thrown. They need strong, healthy people. That was dehumanization. So Pope calls it a wound in Christian memory. In his encyclical Magnificat Humanitas, which is Magnificent Humanity, Pope Leo XIV acknowledged the church's delay in denouncing the scourge of slavery and its involvement in regulating and legitimizing forms of subjugation, including enslavement of infidels. Yes, Africans were not Christians. First of all, they've had the trans-Saharan slave trade, where the Arabs came through the northern parts and Islamized the north. That one was going on as a point to stop. Then they came to Africa, was just their harvesting ground. It was very pathetic, or it is very pathetic, right? Notably, and when we are Christians, they came to give us religion. As they're giving us religion in one hand, they're taking our economy on the other hand, exploiting us, dehumanizing Africans. Thank you for even coming out to apologize. It was a wound, it was a scourge on Africa for years. Imagine Nelson Mandela said they couldn't call his local name and they had to give him a Christian. It was like a mandatory experience that you must have a Christian name or an English name. Let me say an English name, and that was how he got Nelson, right? So let's go back. Notably, Pope Leo XIV is the first US-born pope, and his family history includes both enslaved people and slave owners. Wow. His family owned slaves. A lot of Europeans, a lot of Americans had that, right? This apology marks a significant shift, as previous popes had stopped short of directly addressing the role of the papacy in slavery. They don't talk about it. They keep mute about it, but Pope says he is sorry. The apology highlighted the church acknowledgement of its past wrongdoing and its commitment to confronting its legacy. The Pope's encyclical also touches on modern day issues, including exploitation linked to the global economy and the need for robust regulation of artificial intelligence. My dear, this is very acknowledging. This is mind-blowing, because one of the things that Christ taught us is humility, and he showed that or exemplified that by watching the disciples' feet. So he might not be able to do that physically, but he has just done it by coming out to say the church is sorry, because the Catholic Church is like the head of all the Christian bodies. Yes, we have different parts of the Christian body, but it's like the head. saying that we are sorry we kept a blind eye to slavery for centuries. It's not years or centuries. That means 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. It went on for centuries. That are terribly sorry for that. And this exploitation should not continue. And even the ones happening right now, like neocolonialism, global economic exploitation, he's saying that it should be stopped. So I want to commend this Pope for doing an extraordinary feat and doing something that is actually out of the usual, right? This is actually humility, and this is saying that yes, even though we are Christians, even though we are Christians, yes, and we have the highest position, we can go wrong and we can say sorry and make amends. I believe and other leaders can take a leaf from what he has done and try to make amends and come down very low, humble when they know they have erred to apologize and get things done right. Right? What do you think in the comments? Please don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and then turn on notifications to get notified anytime I drop things about Word Daily. Do you think the Pope is indeed humble, or you just want to make a political statement or a religious statement? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.